I'm going to start by saying that I speak for myself and only myself on this subject. You can hate me for my views if you want, but please be civilized or I will delete your comments and block you. I won't have a flame war in my channel. That said, let's get to the meat of the video. Dendrophilian, I must admit I really respect you standing up saying I said this and that which was wrong, here's what I meant. 100% respect for that. I also actually agree with your main point as well. I think much of the psychological damage is done by society's views on the matter rather than the act itself. Look at ancient Greece, where it was considered normal, even as a part of any responsible upbringing, for an adult male to engage in sexual relations with young boys. Did these boys suffer mental wounds on account of this? Unless they were physically hurt, I seriously doubt it. But again, it is very possible to harm a child physically as well as emotionally, so some regulation at least is needed. The current level of witch hunting on this subject is over the top. We've reached the point where pedophiles will be too scared to seek help for fear of society's condemnation. This is obviously counterproductive. In society as it looks today, sexual relations with children should be outlawed, because the views that a child will be faced with will lead it to view it as a traumatic experience even if it wasn't in and of itself, so any child will be scarred by the experience. Again, I must agree with you on the sexuality issue. If a child discovers that it is bisexual rather than heterosexual because of sexual relations during childhood, so what? Most people are latent bisexuals anyway, whether they admit it or not. And I don't see why there's anything wrong with that. Most animals are too. The fear of homosexuality and bisexuality is born out of a religious doctrine with no basis in real life or actual facts. I think it's also very important to realize a few things here above and beyond the issue of the act of sex with children. First of all, not all the people, men or women, that have sex with children are pedophiles. Second, not all pedophiles have sex with children. A pedophile is a person whose main sexual interest is children. The key word is main. Any pedophile can, and often will, have an interest in sex with adults as well. And any non-pedophile can have an interest in sex with children. What really decides whether a person has sex with a child or not is often based on their morals and worldview rather than on their actual sexuality. If their morals and worldview is such that they don't see any reason not to, it doesn't matter if it's their main sexual interest, they'll probably do it sometime anyway. Whereas a pedophile who thinks sex with children is morally wrong may very well never do it. And no, I am neither a pedophile, a child molester, or a victim of pedophilia. I did, however, once date a girl who had been sexually abused as a child, and yes, I say abused because she fought against it and had no interest in it. So even if she had been an adult, it would still have been abuse, or more precisely rape. I do, however, tend to view the subject a bit less emotionally than is generally accepted in today's society. At least here in Denmark, it's my experience that if you don't support the death penalty for child molesters, even though the death penalty does not exist in the Danish judicial system at this juncture, and no one has been executed in Denmark since the late 1940s, you're viewed as a pedophile. The common reaction to any article about child molestation in the paper is something along the lines of, they should have their testicles eaten by a rabid dog, or some similar suggestion of punishment. In my view, they should have psychological counseling to let them realize it's wrong, and if that realization cannot be brought about, a chemical castration, so that they can't do it again and won't want to do it again. But all of this is just my opinion. Please correct me on any mistakes I may have inadvertently made. I'm most definitely not an expert on this subject. Peace.